I'm not at all happy at having to leave Mansfield for so long, but it cannot be avoided. Our affairs in the West Indies do not prosper. I expect you to behave with proper decorum while I'm away. Of you, Maria, I ask only that your marriage to Mr. Rushworth should not take place before my return.
Then your return cannot be too soon for me, Sir Thomas.
Julia, I give you over to your Aunt Norris' care. Edmund, I believe I may trust you to your own judgment.
Yes, sir.
Tom, here is the chance to prove yourself.
I hope so, sir.
Ah, Fanny, there was something I meant to say to you. Should your brother's ship be in England, I hope you will invite him to Mansfield.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I had hoped William would find his sister at 18 much changed from his sister at 10. But I fear he will not.
It was only a little play, Lovers' Vows. We were just putting it on for a few friends. We were well into rehearsals and we'd all have gone off brilliantly when the Dowager Duchess died and our entire scheme was destroyed.
Good gracious.
I mean, it's not worth complaining about, of course. Still, the poor old lady could not have chosen a worse time. If only the news could have been suppressed for the 3 days we needed. Well, she was a grandmother after all, and she did die 100 miles off.
I'm sure you're very much to be pitied, my dear.
But all is well, ma'am, for now Mr. Bertram is to take the Baron, and I am to be Count Cassel, ma'am, and come in 3 times, and have 42 speeches, which is no trifle.
Ah, Miss Crawford. Delighted.
Mr. Bertram.
What do you say, Edmund? Small, dark and bright. We have our Amelia.
I'm engaged and dismissed in 1...
You're not seriously putting on the play here.
Well, certainly we are. Why not? Look, it's a slight piece, I know, but... Do you think this is too modern? Where's Mr. Crawford? I want his opinion.
For one thing, we know Father's on a return journey now and in constant danger.
For another, yes. And if we can keep my mother's spirits up, I shall think our time well spent. It's a very anxious time for her.
What is it? What? I was not asleep.
For another, you have asked Maria to play the mother of an illegitimate child.
Oh, do not act in anything improper, my dear. Sir Thomas would not like it.
You know Father wouldn't like his grown-up daughters to be acting.
I know my father as well as you do. I'd imagine no one in this house can see or judge but you.
Perhaps Edmund doesn't realize how much I'm relying on him. You see, I'm to be Amelia, but there's no one for Anhalt, my tutor. If anyone should play it, it's you. He is a clergyman, you know.
Then I'd be sorry to make him ridiculous with bad acting.
We can manage perfectly well without you. There's no need for you to take part.
I have no intention of taking part.
Only don't expect to govern everyone else.
You have willfully ignored my request.
I have room for
I want you to raise this curtain by an inch. Come down here. Come down here. Such insolence.
Sorry, Mum.
Do I have to do everything myself?
Why, blush, dear girl, pray tell me why. You need not, I can prove it. For though your garter met my eye, my thoughts were far above it.
I say steady on there, Rushworth.
He is still acting, isn't he?
You cannot refuse me. I must at long last hold you to my heart.
Now you've made me mistake my lines, Mr. Crawford.
Well, then we must rehearse again until you choose to remember them.
Get Maria in shape, will you, Henry? Otherwise we'll never be ready.
My pleasure, sir.
Ah, Fanny. Excellent. Julia won't do it. Come on. This is your big moment. You are to be the cottager's wife.
Me? No. I cannot play a part.
Yes, yes, you can do it well enough for us.
You mustn't let us down, Fanny. When do we ever ask anything of you?
You cannot be so ungrateful as to not do your cousin's wish.
Yes, do help us out, Fanny.
price. Now, we'll try the moment when you interrupt my scene with Agatha. And you'll find us very well rehearsed. We've been hard at it, practicing by ourselves.
You imagine, sir, I can be shamed into a confession. Yours is a vain conceit. Your accusations are enough to make my blood boil! When you arrived, sir, we were going through the first 3 acts. Not unsuccessfully upon the whole.
How dare Henry go like that, laughing, and not a word to me?
My dear girl, a man like Henry isn't so easily roped.
Don't suppose I was the one doing the chasing.
We had hoped, sir, to beg your indulgence. As inexperienced players.
My indulgence shall be given, Tom, but without the play acting. Do you find Mr. and Miss Crawford agreeable acquaintances?
Indeed. Mr. Crawford is very pleasant, and Miss Crawford is a lively, pretty girl.
I do not say he's not a gentleman, considering. But, as your father cannot fail to have noticed, he's too short to be considered a well-looking man.
But Father, you've not told us the outcome of your stay in Antigua.
I'm happy to say our affairs in Antigua do now prosper.
I hope you won't mind my asking, sir. But now that you have lived amongst it, do you believe slavery can continue in the same way?
Our little cousin is a friend to abolition.
I think, my dear, we may very well do without slavery. But without order, we are lost.
You must excuse me. I am unwell.
Weddings are such a bore. Thank God the racing season started so I can escape. Even Father wouldn't insist I'm here through Cheltenham. I need another drink.